Greetings, and salutations, beautiful people in the beautiful world. It is me, he is I am him, Zach Latimer, Z-Lat, and welcome back to another segment of Right and Exact. Shouts out to a new nation and a shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, what I want to talk about and build on, we're just going to still ride that wave of 2017 vibration. And now as we ride that into a space, people start talking about what they deserve. And, I deserve this. I deserve to be great. Or you deserve to have the finer things in life. And you deserve everything that life has to offer. You deserve a great man. You deserve to be free. You deserve this, that, and the third. And that's cool. That's cool. I'm with you, right? Now, at the same time, you have to look at what work have you put in. Okay, what have you worked on for your own self-development and self-improvement? And if you have done neither, if you have done nothing, then you deserve nothing. Okay, you can't show up to a table with just a plate, a fork, and a knife and expect to get your plate filled. It doesn't work like that. You get out what you put in. And if you put nothing in, then you get nothing back. It just doesn't work like that. All right, so we got to start moving away from a space where one just wants things just to be expedient and just convenient. You can't have it like that, because when you start thinking in that along those lines, then you got to start looking at one having the mind of a slave. And if one has the mind of a slave, then you get what you deserve. All right. So even if we look at it in the sense that we want our freedom and one wants to be free, and in order to have a free society, then there must be free individuals. And these free individuals cannot be lazy. You cannot be lazy in your study habits. You cannot, and if you are too lazy, even in developing the bindings of your higher philosophies, and you don't want to move away from your dictator, and you open yourself up to be extorted, and you open yourself up to war, well then, and you make a choice, well then you get what you have earned. And now in this case, you have earned your enslavement. All right, you get what you deserve, and you deserve to be enslaved because you didn't put any work in. You can't be lazy. All right, you can't just sit there and think that somebody's just going to hand you something. Right? And even if you sit there and say, well, I just didn't have the talent, or this person is that much better than me and I can't do nothing about it. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. All day, every day, doesn't matter what you say. Rhyme sold separately. All right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So even if you start to look at, one thing that comes to mind is the Thriller in Manila, when Muhammad Ali took on George Foreman, and they go down there. Now on paper, George Foreman was supposed to be the beast. He was the dog. He was knocking people out, where he was just doing whatever he wanted to do and had his way in the ring. Now, Muhammad Ali could have folded over in that, and before y'all, yes, Muhammad Ali had talent, all right? But he had to put in that work. He had to put in that film study. He had to make sure that he had the right mental frame when he came in there, not only physically but mentally, that he was going to outperform and outshine his opponent, even though on paper it looked like he was going to lose in all phases of the game, right? You got to put in that work, though. And if you don't put in that work, then you're going to get what you put in. And what you put in, if you don't put anything in, then you're going to get back nothing. You're going to get back nothing. All right. So, and you got to start even look at when we start running and occurring, everybody's going to run into some hurdles. Everybody's going to run into some pitfalls, but you got to start looking at it. The things that we run into externally have already happened internally. So if we don't take care of what's going on inside, then the hurdles that we start running into, they'll just start to even grow bigger and bigger on the outside externally. Okay. So, even in the sense of one looking for it, getting into a relationship, and one says, well, I want a man. Okay, cool. So you want a man. Well, then now that we know what you want, let's figure out what you are. So then you ask one, oh, you want a man? Well, are you a woman? Yeah. Okay. Well, what is a woman? I never really thought about that. Interesting. Okay. So then let's do this. How would you describe yourself if you use 3 words? And then all of a sudden you hear these words, the things that one describes, instead of interesting. Because if I use those same 3 words to describe a man, would that be accurate? And some women it is what it is. You could be the same thing. It could. You have now done your best. You have done your best to become a man. And the reason that you're not going to attract one is because you already are one. All right? You can't attract, you're going to attract beta males. And when you get a beta male, then you do your best to try to turn him into something that you think he should be. And he becomes a male servant. And then after he becomes a male servant and your butler, then you despise him for be doing everything that you want him to do. And you start telling your girlfriends, man, he just does everything that I want him to do. I can't, he just listens. I'm just sick of him. Yeah, because you did your best to turn him into something because you don't know what you are. You haven't done any work, self-improvement, self-development to figure out who and what you are and stand on your divine principles and your divine role. Right? And then what happens then is we start raising our children in these single parent homes and then projecting on them our disdain and our dislike for our complementary sex. And even though we say, I'm raising what I think it should be, but you don't know. And if you don't know, then you got to get some help. And you can't be ashamed to actually stand out and say, I don't know. Because this is where rites of passage starts to come in as one starts to get older and starts to and go through these so you know exactly who and what you are at certain stages. And then you got certain people who can tell you, who can lean on in a community that says, okay, this is what you should know by this age. This is what you should know by that age, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, if you don't, and at the beginning of the day, if you don't put the time in, if you don't put the energy and the effort in, and you become lazy, then you actually deserve nothing. You don't deserve a man. You don't deserve to be free. You don't deserve anything because you didn't do anything to get it. All right? You cannot make a withdrawal until you make a deposit. Now, what work and action are you putting in to better yourself? All right? We got to start moving away from just being lazy and thinking that things are going to be handed to us. All right? So I will that you got something out of this. I will that you have a wonderful day. And you can go to Enlightenment and Transformation and get a little deeper into this. So you can check me on Instagram. Hashtag Zach Latimer, ZACHLATIMER. And until next time, I'm out. Deuces.